Okay, so my name's Toby, and I'm your kind of host for today. I'm going to be introducing the speakers, I'm kind of introducing the themes right now. And first thing to say is a very, very warm welcome to you. I'm really delighted to see you come out and kind of interested in what we have to say. I think it's absolutely brilliant that we've got this kind of energy for thinking across boundaries about what we can do with vulnerable children. So welcome, and we're here because we're concerned, I think, and we're concerned young people are vulnerable in our society, getting more so as services decline. Resources are inefficient, we're concerned about that too. And the models which we're using to meet the needs of these children are inadequate. So we've got a lot to be concerned about. And together today here, we can begin to get our thinking straight about what we're going to do next. We are not alone. We're not alone, and we can act. It's really important in the face of a lot of negative perceptions and bad news and in diminishing resources. We feel powerless, but we can act. That we can clarify our thinking, and today we're going to look at solutions. So thinking about the big picture for a moment, because we have to funnel it down, because we exist and work in societies that are orientated in a particular way. So we're living in reactionary times. And the solutions in reactionary thinking are to do with the past. And you see this on both the right and the left of the political spectrum. The nationalism that is behind Brexit and the big state socialism behind the Labour Party at the moment. It's two examples of reactionary thinking. We're living in times that are radically uncertain. And a lot of the old models have fallen away in their grip upon the realities which we're facing. And a big part of this uncertainty, there's a widespread appreciation that the economic model on which we have depended for so long is in decline. That's putting it mildly. So this economic model, you'll recognize it when I describe it. It breaks up institutions. It breaks up institutions into component parts and monetizes the fragments and makes them compete. We only have to think of our NHS service or the education service or provision. We think of competing units. Working in these social environments, we can feel and know the effects of that economic model on our workplaces. There are examples of good practice, but there's a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of pain and unmet need. The economic model itself neither creates wealth nor distributes it equally. Social needs are rising and are unmet, and the widespread response is reactionary thinking, go back to the past. Well, that just can't happen. Today we push back. We're going to push back against that reactionary thinking. We're going to look at ways of working together across boundaries. Ways of addressing that, the drain to fragmentation, which is so pervasive in our social and political life. We're going to look at new communities of concern and innovation, how these are created, how they are sustained, how they express themselves in practice. Systems through which our goodwill can reach out to people. This is so frustrating for those of us who have an impetus to see change amongst the vulnerable people in our society, when the models in which we are working are inept at allowing us to express our goodwill to the people who motivate us. And finally, we are going to develop, find, and articulate a voice for that inner feeling that we all have that there is a better way. There are better, new, effective ways of reaching out to those communities, those parts of the communities that we feel need our goodwill. So I am very pleased to be introducing a program which is going to deliver on that quite substantial promise which I've made to you in the last few minutes. But I just want to finish this introduction by quoting Al Ainsley Green, a great and marvellous figure in the world of child health who has roots in the Northeast. So he's written a book recently, it's called The Betrayal of British Childhood. Strong words from an institutional man. So it's not just lefty radicals like myself who are sort of waving a banner for this. These are the institutions who also are beginning to pick up on this. So, celebrate them and their contributions. Where there are injustices, shout from the roof. Where there is poor practice, kick down the doors. Stand up and be counted. Be advocates for their best interests. And that, I think, is our rallying cry for what we need to do today.